911, where's your emergency?
We are on Baskins Creek Road in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and we are all about to die if you guys don't send a truck out here. There's about a dozen of us and a baby. Please send a truck. I do not want to die out here.
Ma'am, are you stranded right now on Baskins Creek?
Yes, we are stranded. There is no way out.
Running down the road, I felt my skin burning.
Everywhere there's foliage, all the way down to the road is on fire.
It was like running through hell.
In a nutshell, it looked like a war zone.
I did try to get my car, which is across the creek, but I couldn't get it in gear because I didn't have keys. But that wouldn't have mattered anyway because there was trees down across the road further down. So I ran for my life, and I lost my left shoe, which is what made that foot get burnt pretty badly.
Lieutenant Ogle got a call that we needed to go to respond to Baskins Creek Road, where there was people that were stranded or trapped that couldn't get out.
This lady at Baskins Creek had called for a cab. She needed to get out, and she had a baby. And the dispatcher that was with me, she said, you can't get it there.
There was flames both sides. It was an inferno.
When we turned on Baskins Creek, it was just impassable.
I actually pulled over to the right a little bit and parked, and we got our cars up kind of close, and then we continued on foot, and we come up again to those power lines down, power poles down, stuff burning in the roadway, best I remember.
We all parked in a line, and Lieutenant got out and said, we're going to have to walk, and not one of us declined. We were all, okay, let's go.
We were ducking under some power lines. Didn't know if they're hot or not.
As we got closer to them, you could hear tires just sitting there spinning on the asphalt where they were trying to drag a tree out of the roadway where they were blocked in.
Eventually could see the cars up there with their headlights on, and there was a pretty good sized tree that had fallen, and they were trying to pull it out of the road with chains attached to a vehicle. I can't remember what kind of vehicle it was. And that just was futile. That wasn't going to work.
We saw rescue lights coming in at a distance on the end of Baskins Creek, and everybody started honking their horns, to catch their attention.
In that lead vehicle, the one that was trying to pull the tree out, there was a lady in there that had a child in her arms, and when she opened the door, I saw the kid, and I told her that we needed to go, and so she handed me the child, and that's when we started heading back towards our vehicles.
Just our team, we started picking up luggage, started picking up people, just trying to get them down to our vehicles, because we knew if we get them to our vehicles, then we knew we could get them out.
They looked like gladiator angels.
I was trying not to focus too much on how many different ways it could go wrong, because there was a lot of them at that time.
When the troopers came up to the van I was in, they opened the doors and said, you're going to have to walk out of here. And the lady of the couple, she says, well, she's burnt. So that's when he asked me how old I was and how much I weighed.
I was like, how much do you weigh? She told me, I was like, okay. And you could tell she was a little in pain and discomfort. And I told her, I said, ma'am, I think you lied. And she was like, no, I did not.
He's the one that made me laugh coming down the road. I won't forget that either. About the second time he had to pick me up and carry me, he threw his head back and yelled, lady, you lied.
My main thought was we need to get out of here, because if one tree, it could have been one tree that fell behind where our cars were parked, which we had driven past fire to get to that point, but that road was so narrow that one tree could have sunk that whole operation. It would have taken one tree falling behind us, and then we would have been in a similar predicament to what they were in.
We didn't second guess, we didn't stop until we were back down. So we were wondering the whole time, one, are we going to be able to make it to them? And two, when we got them, are we going to be able to make it out of here?
That was probably one of the most intense things I've ever been in.
And my main concern, right or wrong, was the little kid, getting the little kid out, you know. Because just like when we drove into that valley, the same thing with them, it's not going to happen to me. It's not going to happen to me. And as it's happening, you're still saying, it's not going to happen to me.
I don't think any of us would have made it out of there because people were so trying to get their cars. I mean, you can't comprehend what's happening.
I know that whenever I signed on to be a state trooper, I knew being a state trooper what all it entailed. I never thought that I would be doing what we did there.
It looked like special effects, some of the things I saw that night.
You know, I was just a few hours before home with my wife and doing normal things, and then I come out to write tickets, and then all of a sudden I'm doing this totally different job.
And that's what the heroes run towards. That's what the troopers ran towards.
There were 11 people that got out, but on the other hand, there's 14 that didn't. And that's, you know, and when you think about it, and I get emotional thinking about it, that I wish we had more time.
I think the whole thing is just a miracle to have survived.